Welcome back, everyone. Today is July 1st, 2020. I'm JerryVHall, and here's the view from Costa Rica. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. This is not going to be an XRP-centric video, although I don't love it any less. I do want to talk about one of the other projects that I'm very interested in. I have a stake in Cardano ADA, mainly because I decided when I did put money into this market that I wanted to have exposure over several what I believed were impactful verticals. Obviously, the first, and I believe the most important, is payments, and that's why I chose XRP. However, the promise of programmable money, these smart contract platforms, to me are extremely interesting. And the fact that Cardano has, in my opinion, a similar best-in-class management team, all the way from Charles Hoskins all the way down through their quote unquote chain of command. These guys are sharp, well positioned, connected, and are doing, in my opinion, the right things. Cardano is different in that they've taken a slow and steady approach, and I appreciate that. This is tricky business, the smart contract stuff. So anyway, I don't want to get too into the weeds on that, but some really good things are coming down the road for Cardano. Here is the Shelly incentivized testnet rewards calculator. I've brought it up in several videos in the past. As an investor, it's important for me to put my money into assets that I honestly believe and see a path to capital appreciation. That is the valuation of the actual asset. However, it's also very important to me that whatever I put my money into will pay me to hold it. And that means either I'm receiving interest on the money that's invested, I'm receiving a dividend, and in the case of proof of stake blockchains, it is staking rewards. Now, as you can see here from this Cointelegraph article, Cardano Shelly MainNet is going to launch soon. Now, it's actually already running. The mainnet is live. It's happening right now. And approximately July 29th, the actual fork will occur and everything will move to mainnet. From testnet to mainnet, and we're rocking and rolling. I'll keep you folks updated to which staking pools I will be staking my Cardano to. One of the wonderful things about this staking is that I will be earning a passive income in the form of Cardano, the underlying asset, on a compound basis as long as I don't remove the rewards from the wallet. The other advantage, in my opinion, is the security that I'm holding my tokens. I'm just pledging them to the staking pool. They get to use my tokens' voting rights, and I get the rewards that they get. To me, this is the lowest risk, high return thing I can do in crypto. Sure, there are many DeFi platforms out there that will pay you interest, but when you move your coins to some outside platform, you've lost control. And I just want to mention, this is a DeFi hazard that not a lot of people talk about. And I think it's very important that I illustrate it here right now. In a mass calamity event, I don't care how solid you think the insurance is that the platform is carrying, covering your digital assets in a mass calamity event, the insurance companies go belly up. They don't pay anybody. They go out. They close up shop. They're no longer in business, and you're ass out. It's happened time and time again throughout history when you have mass flooding events. Those insurance companies that were insuring properties against flood damage in a mass calamity event, they go bankrupt and they can't pay out their claims. Don't think that crypto is any different. I'm not saying that a mass calamity event is coming. I'm saying there is a risk that needs to be associated anytime your assets are not in your wallet, in your control. You hear it all the time. Not your keys, not your crypto. I don't have a problem with anybody using outside platforms. Heck, I have. I just believe it's important that you understand the risk associated with it. But let's move on. So as we're always illustrating in the XRP community, these incredible partnerships that are being publicly announced by the company Ripple, and how that can have a direct or indirect effect on the valuation going forward of our beloved asset XRP, we're seeing the same things starting to occur here with Cardano. This is a top-notch company, right? This, Hong Kong in and out. I don't even know all the acronyms. Charles Hoskins and his team have put together a first-class operation. Now, I bring up this article for this Cardano Emergo partners with Travela to drive ADA adoption. Now, one of the things I find really interesting about this is that this company, Travela, is a hospitality travel entity. Book flights, book hotels, you can use Cardano. I think this is really interesting. And it got me to think a little bit. How I got into crypto in the first place is I came down to Costa Rica because I had done a bunch of research on getting some dental work done and eye surgery done. Now, I'll tell you my whole story on this, but before I do, I just want to draw your attention. I've been getting a lot of comments in the comment section about exit strategies, about US exchanges in and outs. I know Coinbase is popular. Coinbase is easy. I will tell you, in my experience, and I have both. I have a Coinbase account, I have an Uphold account. I find myself using my Uphold account all the time. And my Coinbase account, not so much. And it's because Uphold is extremely easy. Uphold's got a debit card associated with it. Uphold, the second I make a purchase, the price that's stated is the price I pay. And even though it may take 3 to 5, 6 days sometimes for the funds to clear my bank account, I've locked in that price. On Coinbase, I'm waiting for an order book to reconcile it. I'm waiting for another buyer to buy it. Uphold's really not an exchange. Uphold is like an online store. I love it. I really do love Uphold. They have a lot of wonderful factors. I'm not getting paid or have any kind of affiliate association with Uphold. I'm just recommending them because I trust them. I like them. Their management team is solid. They're expanding into Latin America, which is I'm a big fan of. So you can see my motivations there. Check them out if you haven't. Let's get into this medical tourism thing. So I had made some investments back in early 2016 in the cannabis industry. And make a long story short, I was able to turn 23,000 into upwards to 52,000. And I did a cash out. I sold, I got my original investment completely out, was working on the, well, basically letting the profit ride. And I wanted to get some dental work done. I wanted to get corrective eye surgery done. And I did a bunch of research in the United States. And it was horrific. The prices were just incredible. And I was thinking to myself, I'd remembered a David Wolf seminar I was watching, and he was talking about medical tourism, and they were talking about stem cells and this, that, and the other thing. But that word medical tourism stuck in my head. So I started looking and I started researching, and I looked at Mexico and I looked at Colombia and I looked at Costa Rica. And it was through researching the actual doctors that I decided on Costa Rica. So I booked a trip and I came down. Now, my medical, as far as the eye surgery, that was a one-time shot. I went in, had an examination. A day and a half later, had my appointment. 2 days later, came back for a follow-up. Everything was fine. Stayed another 3 or 4 days. It was great. Had a good time. During that first trip, I also had went in for my for the dental. Laid out the treatment plan. It was going to take several trips. I was totally okay with it, because I was looking at the costs. And it was in that third and final trip for my dental that I found out about crypto. This is at the very beginning of 2018. Now, you all know my crypto story. I've said it many times. But I wanted to come down here and also let you know something I haven't ever really talked about on YouTube is that it was through my medical tourism research and personal experience that I decided to facilitate and help others, because my experience was incredible. And I can so vividly remember all of the different anxieties and things I went through thinking about how am I going to operate in another country in a foreign language. So through my process and what I've learned, I created a little medical concierge business for medical tourists. Now, I started with a little GoDaddy webpage, and I was just basically doing guerrilla marketing where I was just talking about it on Facebook. And a bunch of people that I followed on Facebook, started reaching out to me, and we'd start talking on the phone, and I'd walk them through different processes and, try to get an idea of what they wanted. Showed them how to basically ascertain what the US prices are by going through and getting consultations by their local medical professionals and getting quotes from the folks that I have selected for my own personal work down here. Because as well as there are many incredible success stories, there are also some very horrific horror stories about people who didn't do their research, about mishaps, and it's horrible. But it's gone really well for me and the dozen or so folks that I've helped find the right doctors for the right procedures at wonderful rates. Many of the folks, I'd say probably over 60% of the folks that have come down for medical procedures have turned their medical procedure experience into also a vacation. A couple of them were family vacations, husband, wife, and kid, etc. There's a lot of little nuances to consider. I won't go into them in this video, but if you're interested in looking into something like that, maybe you have shrugged off some dental work. Maybe you've wanted to get eye surgery. Maybe there's some plastic surgery that you want, some vanity stuff, whatever, it's all good. I've got a little team of doctors that I've worked with. I've got great relationships with. I understand the ins and outs of getting into the country, out of the country, how to operate within the country. Even worked out a couple of relationships with some lodging stuff, some personal Uber drivers, etc. And little tricks and tips that make the experience so much better than if you had to come down on your own, uninformed, and figure it out as you go. So, you can reach out to me on Twitter, and you can reach out to me through Facebook private messages. I'm happy to help. I won't charge anything. I just want you to have a good experience. And if that's something you're interested in, I'm always happy to talk about it and share my experience. But folks, enough of that. Let's remember why we're in this game. We're investors. If you're not already in an investment that pays you to hold it, you should consider that. Now, it's one thing if your whole bag is in XRP and you're waiting for that capital appreciation. I get that. I understand that completely. And it's not a bad goal. As long as you have the right time horizon, you don't need it to happen tomorrow, you'll probably be in really good shape. However, the wealthy stay wealthy not because their capital in actual asset appreciates, because markets go up and down all the time. The wealthy stay wealthy through having their investments pay them to hold them in the form of earning interest on their money, dividends on their stocks, yield on their bonds. Well, it's happening in crypto also. Look into these things, these proof of stakes networks. Pick one that works, and that's good for you. I've chose Cardano. I chose VET because it has a token generation mechanism built in to the algorithm, to the code. Exciting times, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. And from Costa Rica, Pura Vida.